Tim Singer and John Morgan back here in Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italy. The two-man World Cup races history. We'll get to the four-man in a second. John, of course, the NFL playoffs are going on as we speak in a lot of stadiums named for a lot of corporations. But here in Bobsled in Cortina, they named this track after a true legend.
One of the legends of the sport, Eugenio Monti, born here in Cortina, competed in the 56 Olympic Games here in Cortina, won 2 silvers. At the 64 Games in Innsbruck, he won 2 bronze, and in Grenoble, he won double gold in 1968. One of the true legends of the sport, passed away a couple years ago. Very appropriately, they named this track, Eugenio Monti de Pista, after him. His legend lives on.
How about the legend of the present-day bobsledders? We've already had the first heat in the four-man competition. Let's check out the highlights.
Highlights are unbelievable. Watch this shot. Team Wolfgang Stampler. 3-man falls in the wrong way. They face each other all the way down the track. What an interesting conversation that must have been. Now, team Martin Gallagher of Switzerland. Watch the number 2-man can't get in. The number 4-man's holding on, but he has to eject. What a long walk that is. They were disqualified. Now, team Neil Scarsbeck of Great Britain. They got a few issues in that little chink curve that you saw a lot of people tipping over in the 2-man in the women's event. They made it down, but they weren't in the top 20 for the second run. This man, though, team Evgeny Popov, look at the problems he had down the bottom part of the track. He's currently in 3rd place. He's the World Cup leader entering the race. And the guy everybody always chases, Andre Long of Germany, crashed in Lake Placid. The last 4-man event in practice, didn't compete in the 4-man competition. Here, he was in 2nd, chasing 1 sled. Steve Holcomb of the United States won the 2-man event, had the best start time in the first heat, and his Bodine sled and his team flew in the bottom part of the track. They're the leaders by 21/100ths of a second.
Holcomb looking for the sweep. He had Brock Kreitzberg behind him in that 2-man victory. They're now joined by Steve Messler and Pavli Jovanovic, and they have a big lead over Longa and the rest of the field. They will be the final sled down here in run number 2. Pierre Lueders in a disappointing 6th place showing right now after 1 heat. So, run number 2 coming up.
Jānis Mīns, Kuldīgi, Latvija. Domans Reiškins, Stāķi, Latvija. Ainārs Pludnieks, Vietāla, Latvija.
Reinis Rozīts, Liepāja, Latvija.
It's been a big season, a breakout season for this Latvian sled, as a Russian team that's already come down, Russia 2, has the lead for the time being. But what a year for Mīnins.
Well, he won a bronze in Calgary, silver in
Park City.
Silver in Lake Placid. His 2nd World Cup points. What a breakout season, Tim. This, not the style track, though, where his sled flies up.
Beautiful day today, John, once again. Hey, they're expecting snow in Chicago for the NFC champion, or the NFC division game, but we're loving this weather.
It's about 50 degrees on one of the oldest tracks on the circuit, at a track that's quite a challenge. And Mīnis, look at the runners. He's trying to get the lineup in that little chink curve that's been eating everybody alive. He's gone from -2 to -9 to -2. He's losing time away to the Russians at the bottom. Gonna have to be perfect down here. Now it's dead heat, and he's perfect. You can pick up time down here. Speed, gonna be right to the 100.
Across the finish by 2/100ths. There's Sandis Prusis, the head coach of the Latvian program, a former World Cup champion. And they've had a great year, and they continue it. They can do no worse than 7th place here in Cortina. So, the Latvians have the lead. We've got much more to come. Keep in mind that the final sled here will come to you from the United States.
This is Team Steve Holcomb. On NASCAR, you've got pedal to the metal.
In bobsled, we're the horsepower.
Stay tuned, more bobsledding on speed.
After this.
Over 5 tons of towing capacity. 2,010 pounds of payload. It seems in thinking ahead, our engineers left nothing behind. Introducing the more comfortable, more powerful, more capable, all-new 2007 GMC Sierra. We examined everything and overlooked nothing, then backed it with the GM 100,000-mile warranty. That's professional grade.
If you want a truly great vacation, you'll need a passport. The ultimate winter passport from Whiteface Lake Placid. This passport gets you 3 days of skiing and riding at the Olympic Mountain, a group lesson, cross-country skiing, skating on the legendary oval, even admission to the Olympic Sports Complex where you can take a bobsled ride. No place celebrates winter like Whiteface Lake Placid. It's even a shorter, easier drive than to most Vermont resorts. Visit whitefacelakepplacid.com for your ultimate winter passport.
American Steve Holcomb getting ready for a potential gold medal winning run, but his counterpart from North America is up next.
Pierre Luders, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Ken Kotick, Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
David Bissett, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Lascelles Brown, Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
4:86 start time in the first run. 4:81 here. That's the best start we've seen in either heat so far. Wow, how did they turn that on? Usually the starts within 100th or 200th of each other. 500's better. Luders must have told his team, we got to get on it in the second run.
1900ths now as they look to open up a big lead, not just on the Latvians, but to put some pressure on the next few sleds.
Silver medal in the two-man bobsled competition. He's won on this track before. In two-man, never won a gold in four-man, although he's won a couple of medals in four-man the last couple times out. Wow, he's opened up a big lead. This is a good run for Luders. He's really separating himself from that Latvian sled up to 3,500.
Straight down the center of the track. Coach Malcolm Lloyd looking on across the finish. 145.29, better than 0.3 of a second ahead of the competition.
He was only 700s from that Latvian sled. Picked up 2,500s in that heat. That tells you a lot about the pressure was on Pierre Luders, and the veteran just pulled through from Canada. He needs to move up a couple spots to have a chance to win a medal. Look at, this is the finish.
Is that a guy passed out there?
That's a photographer who's
Okay,
pretty brave. Look at that line. That's right before the finish curve. And the speed is everything here on the bottom part of this track. Luders, perfect lines. That's a great run for Pierre Luders.
Complained of his back when he got out of the sled. He's been having trouble with his back. Next up, the Swiss, 5th place after run number 1.
Ivo Rüegg, Tucker City, Schweiz.
Roman Hanschen, Amoschwil, Schweiz.
Thomas Lamparter, Arwangen, Schweiz.
John Morgan, as we await the Americans a little later on, today's broadcast on Speed is American bobsled history.
Well, from a television standpoint, other than the Olympics, this is the first time we broadcast same-day coverage out of Europe live into the United States. And very appropriately, we saw yesterday's competition, a two-man gold by Steve Holcomb and Pierre Luders of Canada winning the silver medal. And Tim, we used to come over here and hope the Americans or Canadians would finish in the top 10.
Right, and hope that the show was on within a month. So same day, we are proud, we are excited here on Speed.
Now, Ivo Rüegg, one of the dominant powers in the sport in the last 100 years of Switzerland. Now they're chasing countries like Canada, Russia, the United States. Swiss have fallen off the pace. Have they fallen, or the other teams got better? And Rüegg's got problems there. A lot of play of the runners.
Well,
+1 to +11.
We saw what a good run Pierre Luders just had.
Luders was perfect on the bottom part of the track. Look at this, it's up to 19. Luders is going to reel this sled in, and he's rough there.
And the Canadians worried more about their outfits than moving up in the leaderboard, but they do so by better than 1/4 of a second over the Swiss sled.
Pierre says, couple more guys. We got to do a couple more sleds before we get that medal. Tough sitting down there in that leader's box, having someone else hold your fate in their hands.
It's a little easier on a nice day like today.
Look at the rudder tips here. This is out of Bandione. Look at bumps. Look at the rudder tips. He's trying to set himself up. He's got a skid going on the back end. You talk about a way to erase time. Look at the speed before Antelo. Rüegg way off the pace.
So Rüegg, it's been a continuing story, falling back in run number 2. Next up, a young team from Germany.
Thomas Loschitz, Meiningen, Germany.
Christoph Heider, Erfurt, Germany.
Loco Petzold, Potsdam, Deutschland.
Enrico Kühn, Weimar, Germany.
Now, what you need to know about this defending junior world champion is that he trails Holcomb by 31 seconds, as he likes to spend time at home and eat schnitzel. Who doesn't over here in Europe? But more importantly, he has an advantage of 600ths over the Canadians after run number 1. Canada, of course, with the lead down at the bottom.
The reason the Canadians got such a lead, the start time, they had a 41, 500ths better. So this German team had a 489 in the first run. Let's see if they go 500ths better. No, 100 better. What an advantage. Look at the athleticism. Look at the size of these guys. Then they got to hop in this little human-powered rocket ship and then come down a track like this. This is a little different than the track we're going to be on in Innsbruck next week.
That's generally recognized as an easier track, although we've seen some crashes and excitement on that one, too.
Nobody's afraid of that track like they are to this one. This is a challenge. This young German pilot, good lines out of Bondione. He's down quite a bit. That's relative to the start time. 1600s to 2000s in the red. 112.6. 66 miles an hour. They all will pick up more speed.
Wow.
Up to 24. Lost more time. Pierre Lueders is licking his chops at the bottom. This is another sled he's reeled in.
And Canada moves up one more spot and one spot away from a medal.
8th best time of the run. Not what you want to do when the pressure's on. Look at the runner tips. These are such compelling pictures out of a corner like Bondione. You could see him just touching the runners a little bit. Not the guy who steers the most that wins. It's the guy who steers the least.
Just 3 sleds remain now from Cortina d'Ampezzo. The medals will be decided. And Russia's Evgeny Popov. He's won the last 2 races. He comes down next.
Tonight on the Speed Report, we remember the great life and career of Bobby Hamilton. Plus, in-depth coverage as testing continues on the high banks of Daytona. The Speed Report, tonight 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on Speed. From Ensenada to La Paz, over 1,000 miles, 2 teams, 1 mission, conquer the Baja 1000.
You never conquer the Baja, Baja conquers you.
2 roads to Baja, today 3 Eastern, only on Speed.
The Nextel All-Star Challenge is only on Speed.
This season, an entirely new way to watch racing, bringing you closer to NASCAR than ever before. Introducing NASCAR Hot Pass. 5 driver channels with exclusive race coverage, live team audio between crew chief and driver, plus interactive features and real-time stats. This season, only DirecTV lets you ride shotgun. NASCAR Hot Pass. Order now and save $20 off the regular season price.
If you think $5 doesn't go very far, wait till you see where it takes your television with DirecTV. Now, you can add over 30 exciting channels of awesome entertainment, fun cartoon networks that your kids will love, and fascinating educational programming. Just transform your Total Choice package into Total Choice Plus for as little as $5 more per month. That's incredible value. Upgrade to Total Choice Plus programming today. Visit DirecTV.com or call 1-800-531-5000.
After this 4-man competition, we're packing up, heading 2.5 hours north, just outside of Innsbruck, Austria, and Eagles. Next,
easy track, Tim.
It is an easier track, although there's some excitement, as I mentioned earlier. We'll have skeleton and bobsled for you next week on Speed.
Евгений Попов, Красноярск, Россия.
Оречников Роман, Красноярск, Россия.
Дмитрий Труенков, Россия, Красноярск.
Дмитрий Степушкин, Воронеж, Мособласть, Москва.
Russian military, all 4 of these guys. Again, their teammates, Zubkov, tore his Achilles up over Christmas break, had surgery. He's out for the season. Zubkov won the silver medal at last year's Torino Winter Olympic Games.
But Popov has won twice so far this year, last in Lake Placid 2 weeks ago.
He definitely has emerged as Russia won. A lot of pressure on him here, though. He's the World Cup leader. Start time, 4:88 in the first run. They should get better. Everybody else getting better. Why? The temperatures are getting warmer. It's getting a little slicker up there in that start track.
A little stumble loading the sled.
488, same as the first run.
A lot tougher than it looks to get 4 people in that sled in 5 seconds.
Well, we saw the start mishaps in the first heat. And now, Popoff 700s down to Lueders. Look at the speed Lueders generated after that first curve. Popoff really hard hit there up at the top of the track.
A medal waits at the bottom for either Canada or Russia, and Russia continues to fall further back.
That was -4 to +11. He's got some runner issues out of Bandillon. Who doesn't? But he stopped the bleed. +11 to +9. Slingshot effect here on the bottom part of the track. He could have a chance. Down to 5. He's got the 4-man pointed straight. Oh, it's a rough transition there. Another too close to call. 300s.
Canada has captured a medal. Russia falls back 1 spot. Russia will win a European Championship medal, but perhaps has fallen out of the podium here in the World Cup.
Well, Pierre Lueders won that medal with a start time.
André Lange, Suhl, Deutschland.
Alexander Rödiger, Scherpta, Germany.
Kevin Kuske, Potsdam, Germany. Martin Putze, Bad Sulza, Germany.
The 2-time defending Olympic 4-man champion began this season with a victory. Canada watches. They've moved up several spots. But things, relatively speaking, John, have gone downhill down this track for Lange.
His performance in the 2-man was one of the worst I've ever seen him have in any kind of a 2 or 4-man competition. He got beat by the Czech Republic. You talk about a small fish eating the big fish, and that was the European Championships. The Czech Republic, they've never won any medal of any kind, and they won a European Championships out of this event.
Lange,
and a bronze medal in the 2-man competition.
And Lange refused to talk to the media afterwards. That's how bummed out he was as he prepared for this 4-man event.
1500s ahead of Lueders at the bottom. Look at the runner tips again. Everybody's doing that out of Bandillon. It's down to 11. Lueders, similar speed. Lange, if this gets down to single digits, Lueders might have a chance. It's at 800s. Lueders was perfect down here. Lange, smooth. It's
This'll
going to be
tight.
Close.
400ths of a second. The Germans end the run for Canada. Canada will capture a bronze and at least a silver for this German sled. A great comeback.
Pierre Lueders, he's thinking about that start time his crew gave him. With a start like that, Pierre Lueders can be really competitive.
In case you missed it earlier, it was a big day for the North Americans in the 2-man competition. USA won. Steve Holcomb and Brock Kreutzberg came down the track in first place. 1 sled remained from Canada, and when all was said and done, it was the USA capturing the gold medal. They'll try for the sweep when we return.
Speed is taking you inside Barrett Jackson. This is Life on the Block.
Here's $1 million car.
I love this stuff.
Doesn't get any better.
This is beyond belief.
Monday night, the Future Liner breaks into record territory.
There's a problem with the deal.
But the real drama comes after the gavel drops.
We had a major issue on our hands.
Barrett Jackson, Life on the Block. Monday, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Only on Speed.
If you want a truly great vacation, you'll need a passport. The ultimate winter passport from Whiteface Lake Placid. This passport gets you 3 days of skiing and riding at the Olympic Mountain, a group lesson, cross-country skiing, skating on the legendary oval, even admission to the Olympic Sports Complex where you can take a bobsled ride. No place celebrates winter like Whiteface Lake Placid. It's even a shorter, easier drive than to most Vermont resorts. Visit whitefacelakepplacid.com for your ultimate winter passport.
The FIBT World Cup on Speed is being brought to you by Konica Minolta, official sponsor of the FIBT World Cup Bobsleigh and Skeleton Tour, and by Adidas, an official supplier and the official shoe sponsor for the FIBT. One sled remains from the United States going for the gold medal, and we go back 1 year, the World Cup event here in Cortina.
Hayes won last year, and two of the guys on the sled, Steve Messler and Pavel Janovic, are now on the Team Holcomb sled.
So it was a big victory for the USA. They'll be looking to repeat in just a moment. And Holcomb talked about the experienced brakemen.
Well, it's exciting. I have Todd Hayes' crew from last year. They were dominant at the start just about every race. So I'm excited to do well. We have been driving well all week. We've been pushing well. The equipment's running. The Whelen-sponsored Bodine sled is as fast as can be. And we just have to put it all together for the race and do what we have to do.
Never won a medal.
Stephen Holcomb, Park City, Utah, USA.
Pavle Jovanovic, Tom's River, New Jersey, the United States of America.
Steve Messler, Buffalo, New York, USA.
Brock Kreitzberg, Akron, Ohio, the USA.
What I meant to say was that he'd never won a medal in four-man bobsledding. He won 3 straight silvers and then the gold in the two-man this year, but he'd never won a medal so far in four-man bobsledding. Of course, Messler, Pavel Janovic weren't with him in Calgary, Salt Lake, or Lake Placid earlier on the tour.
This for the gold medal and to complete a huge day, perhaps the biggest day ever for USA bobsledding.
Well, he had a 482 in the first run. Not as good a start time there in the second run. 1900s in the bank, but we've seen time evaporate on this Cortina track. And he's been a little sloppy here in the labyrinth. Down to 16, bleeding time away. Gonna have to be perfect. And the runner tips weren't moving there. Now it's back up to 17. Speed as good as almost anybody who's come down. Exit here is crucial. Big speed on the bottom, still at 17.
He'll have to give away a lot here at the finish. Will he do it? USA won. Steve Holcomb gold in the two-man and gold in the four-man, completing the sweep of the World Cup here in Cortina.
Pretty shocking. This is a sport dominated by Germans and Swiss for 100+ years. Now, the sport has got Canadians, Russians, and Americans that have crept in there and started to dominate. Look at Coach Brian Scheimer. Watch his reaction here. Wow. Scheimer won a gold and silver on this track 10 years ago. Holcomb, gold and gold. Final results, Steve Holcomb, Andre Lange, Pierre Luters. What a day for the North American sliding crew. Wow. Ivo Ruger, 5th place. There's Matthias Hofter in 10th. Rough weekend for him after that crash in the two-man competition. Here's our World Cup standing. Steve Holcomb tied for 4th. Moving up the ladder. Let's go down to Tim Singer for the interviews.
Thanks, John. Well, you've been saying, John, all day long that most of these drivers can't wait to get Cortina out of their minds, out of their rear view windows. But Steve Holcomb, you're an exception. You've got to be loving what happened here today.
Yeah, hey, well, we should stay another week, that's cool. It'll be fun. No, it's not that much fun. It's a pretty rough track, and it's very difficult. But, we had a good time. We were fast at the start, which is awesome. It's the fastest I've ever been. And then it showed at the bottom. We were rolling. The Allianz Whelen Speedo sled is just fast, and we're kicking butt, and it's great. So hopefully we'll take it to the next couple of weeks and do well at the Worlds. So that should be exciting. I'm happy.
You keep talking about fast. Is it these Bodine sleds? Is it the fact that Steve and Pavle have joined you? They have winning experience on this track.
And Brock's here, too. Actually, it's kind of a combination of everything. We have you have to have a great start, you have to have a great sled, and you have to have a great drive. And right now, just been all coming together and clicking well. So we could keep the momentum going for the next couple of weeks. I think we'll do well at the Worlds and surprise some people. So I'm excited.
And Brock, I wouldn't dream of sliding you. Sorry about that. USA #1, a big weekend, the sweep of the two-man and the four-man here in Cortina.
Well, it's been a great, exciting weekend. It's always exciting in Cortina, as you can see from these pictures. What's most exciting is how well the North American teams are doing. Canada and the United States captured 4 of the 6 medals here. If you're betting on the 2010 Winter Olympic Games, you might start thinking about Canada and the United States. The Russians, the Germans, the Swiss are also there, but boy, this Cortina track presents the sport of bobsledding as well as we can present it. Next time we'll be coming to you from Innsbruck. I don't know